In Vernon County, Missouri, as residents face ongoing challenges, including rain and power outages. Also, Parsons City Commissioners and a Kansas-based company announced a fiber optic internet expansion. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, Vernon County tornado victims face new hurdles as rain and power outages complicate recovery efforts. Plus, we have some expert tips on how to safely escape your vehicle if caught in rising floodwaters. And Pittsburgh police nabbed 2 suspects linked to recent thefts thanks to this revealing video.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Process to repair and clean up is well underway, but people impacted by yesterday's tornado in Vernon County, Missouri face some serious challenges. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Storm victims are still battling the elements as they deal with the damage. For starters, they've had to contend with rain today, posing its own threat to damaged homes and businesses. On top of that, many still don't have power. Utility crews in Vernon County are working to restore power to residents and businesses. Despite the dozens of trucks and workers, officials tell us power will not be fully restored to the county for another 2 to 3 days. The Red Cross and other organizations are in Nevada hoping to provide relief and shelter to those in need as the damage assessment is still ongoing.
So we're here just to encourage them, love on them, and let them know there are people that really care about them and want to help them. And you've seen that in this community. This is a great community. People just coming out to help their neighbor, don't know their neighbor, but they're coming out to help. And that's what we love to see. And that's the greatest thing about our country, that, you know, in times of disaster, people come together to help one another.
The Red Cross and the county say they've seen a large inflow of donations already. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, we've already seen quite a bit of rainfall throughout the area just in the last 24 hours. You can see around the Joplin area, slightly less than 3 inches. Pittsburgh has about 3.5 inches of rainfall. You can see kind of that trail all the way down to Coffeyville and up to Nevada. So we've seen quite a bit. Now we are in a flood watch as well, south of I-44 until 7 p.m. on Saturday. So we've got another 36 to 48 hours more of heavy rainfall over the next couple of days into the weekend. Now we're going into a bit of a lull right now. We're still going to have overcast skies for most of the evening, and a few more showers start to pick up tomorrow morning as well, and even thunderstorms. Now by 2 p.m. on Saturday, we're still going to get a little bit more rainfall into Sunday morning, but by 2 p.m. we're seeing another 2 inches in Joplin, but the further south you go, south of I-44, another 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. Plus, we also have a little bit more of a severe threat south of I-44 as we head into tomorrow afternoon, but I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon. Some areas could get potentially life-threatening flooding over the next few days. From 2015 through 2018, 34 of Missouri's 39 flooding deaths, 87% included either drivers or passengers in vehicles. Nicolette Zangara has what you need to know if your car gets stranded on a flooded road.
If you're driving through flooded roadways, water levels can rise quickly. And if it's high enough to keep your door closed, you need a fast way to get out of your vehicle.
Window punches cost $5 to $10, but you can also rely on a small hammer. It takes some force. Just be sure to cover your eyes or even wear gloves to avoid injury. Many times the driver can't see the water covering the road or realize how deep it really is.
If you're at night and you don't see the water and you find yourself in the water and you drive into it, make sure you have something to be able to break the windows.
Once you climb out, stay on top of your car until help arrives. If the car is sinking, the last thing you should do is tread through the water.
Don't cross it. It's as simple as that. If there's water going across it, you don't know what's underneath that water. It could have washed away the roadway that's underneath it. It could be older concrete, it could be asphalt, it could be gravel. And you don't know that it exists or it doesn't.
And the threat will remain even after the rain ends.
The river's not cresting until Monday or Tuesday. So again, those waters are still coming up until that point, until then when they crest, they'll start to recede. So, I mean, as much rain as we're expected to get in the next 48 hours through Sunday morning, it's going to be pretty intense.
Now, according to the Missouri Highway Patrol, flooding is the #1 weather-related killer in southwest Missouri, and flooding deaths are 100% preventable. The morning rains have led to some car crashes in the area. Hydroplaning caused 2 accidents in Joplin this morning. One driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. We still don't know details than the other person. Both were wearing seatbelts. Missouri State Highway Patrol wants to remind drivers it is the law to turn their headlights on if their windshield wipers are on. This morning turned fatal. This morning, Cherokee County authorities responded to a head-on collision involving 2 vehicles. It took place just west of Columbus on Highway 160 near Northwest 50th. Authorities determined that a Nissan Xterra tried to pass 2 semi-trucks, causing a head-on collision with a truck. The driver of the Xterra, Randy Kirkpatrick of Oswego, sustained major injuries, was taken to Labette County Hospital. The driver of the pickup, Alan Christmas, died in the crash. Authorities report a Chanute resident died in a head-on crash around 8 a.m. today in Neosho County, Kansas. That crash happened north of 70th Road on Highway 169. A Nissan Kicks veered into the other lane, and an oncoming GMC Sierra tried to avoid the Nissan by steering to the left. The vehicles collided near the center of the road. The Nissan driver was 55-year-old Janie Umbarger, who died at this scene. The other driver is a 76-year-old male who was taken to Neosho Memorial Regional Medical Center with suspected minor injuries. Berry County prosecutors have charged a man and woman in connection with a murder last month. Brandy Coburn of Verona, Missouri, and Jimmy Taylor of Exeter, Missouri, are charged with first-degree murder and abandonment of a corpse. The charges stem from a death on or about March 11th at a house in Verona. Authorities say Coburn and Taylor shot Marvin Lance McCullough, then transported the body in the trunk of a car to a farm and set the body on fire. The pair are being held without bond. Pittsburgh police have arrested 2 suspects in connection with a string of thefts, including one in which the thieves were caught on camera stealing a camera that caught them. The crimes happened between March 28th and April 2nd. Now, police weren't able to nail down suspects until this video was shared. It shows one person, the one you see there, shining a light into the home, and then this second person comes in after and reaches up and steals the camera. We have more information about the crimes at KOIMnewsnow.com. The 2 suspects, they have been arrested. Parsons City Commissioners discuss expanding fiber optic internet access to all residents thanks to a Kansas-based company. That story is coming up, but first, trade war heats up.
The stock market responds to President Trump's sweeping new tariffs with steep losses. I'm Erica Brown at the White House with more reaction to the president's escalating trade war.
President Trump's new tariffs on imports from the rest of the world and fears about what might happen next stunned global investors and prompted a large-scale stock sell-off. More than $2 trillion in market value was wiped out for U.S. investors. The president worked to assure Americans that everything will work out. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom.
President Trump remained optimistic after his sweeping new tariffs sparked the stock market's worst single-day sell-off since the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020.
I think it's going very well. It was an operation like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing. I said this would exactly be the way it is.
The White House expects the tariffs will balance a trade deficit President Trump labeled a national emergency. But economists warn the cost of tariffs will ultimately fall on American consumers.
The president's trade policy is going to do a lot of economic damage. It's going to reduce the income of households. It's going to reduce the purchasing power of wages. It's going to increase unemployment.
Top Democrats slammed the president's trade policy.
He's walking us into the dumbest and most avoidable recession probably in history.
A 10% tariff on all U.S. imports is set to take effect this weekend. That's on top of reciprocal tariffs slated for next week. And Thursday, the Trump administration imposed a 25% tariff on foreign-made cars and auto parts, sparking backlash from trade partners. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney unveiled retaliatory tariffs against the U.S.
by matching the U.S. approach with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement.
And car maker Stellantis announced it will be pausing production at its plants in Canada and Mexico as it assesses the impact of the new tariffs. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump's tariff announcement drew sharp criticism from leaders around the world. China accused the U.S. of bullying, and European Union members promised robust countermeasures. As these tariffs are hitting the nation, how about us in the 4 states? Well, we spoke with some local experts from Pitt State and AAA on how these tariffs could affect us.
Hope for the best. It's not exactly clear what will happen with tariffs, even though we think in the near term we'll be facing higher prices and perhaps a recession.
Tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods, and when we see the tariffs placed on imported oil or gasoline, that raises costs for the refiners and suppliers, and ultimately that gets passed on to consumers.
Chabaria says even in the midst of the tariffs, 2025 currently is on track to have some of the lowest gas prices nationally since 2021. The Parsons Kansas City commissioners met with IdeaTech this afternoon to get an update on fiber optic internet for the city. Now, previously, fiber service was available only to businesses through Cox, but will now be accessible to all residents in Parsons. IdeaTech is a Kansas-based company already serving several communities in southwest and central Kansas, and soon both Baxter Springs and Parsons in southeast Kansas.
And we've been building fiber internet over the last 2 decades across Kansas. We're really excited to be here in Parsons to do the same thing here. I wanted to be really forward with that with the city commission, and also to all of the community that we're here to work with you guys. If there's a mess, we want to hear about it.
The Baxter Springs Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon cutting for IdeaTech on Monday. The company plans to start laying fiber in Parsons on April 17th. Lindsay returns next with a complete look at your forecast, and a little bit later see how Newton County is turning awareness into action for Child Abuse Prevention Month with a moving display.
Well, we've had a very eventful week and more rainfall to go. Let's go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We've got overcast skies for the rest of the evening and maybe an isolated shower or two, but really all the rain is going to be holding off until early tomorrow morning, looking at about 5 to 6 a.m. You can see still some isolated thunderstorms down there in Arkansas and into Tennessee, even into eastern Missouri, but we've got clear skies. Well, non-rainy skies for the rest of the evening, but that rain chance, those rain chances really kick back off by about 6 a.m. You can see the spike through most of the day on Friday. We're also going to see the chance for another slightly severe threat, but mostly staying south of us. You can see that elevated to high risk parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and into Arkansas. So Arkansas is really taking the brunt of this system over the last couple of days. But south of I-44, we've got that slight risk. Couple of counties near the Branson area, south of Monette, Bentonville, and then south of Grove, and then Joplin up to Pittsburgh in a moderate or low risk, so marginal risk of severe weather. Everyone else not so bad. Now, majority of our threat is going to be heavy rainfall with that potential for flooding and flash flooding. However, by Friday afternoon, we could see a little bit more of a severe threat. So let's walk through our day. 5:30 in the morning, few showers start to push into our Kansas counties. You can see some loud thunderstorms south of I-44 starting pretty early Friday morning. It's about 6 or 7 a.m. until about 9 to 10 a.m. on Friday. Bella Vista getting hit pretty hard, and then out there south of Miami as well. Those clear out We have a slight lull there, still some showers, but by 10:30, 11, we go into a little bit more of that moderate to light rainfall throughout the early afternoon hours. Then we're going to start to see some isolated thunderstorms popping back up. Still widespread showers, but you can see in some of these isolated storms by early afternoon into late afternoon could bring that secondary severe threat. Now you can see north of Nevada, a little strong cell, and then again south of I-44, Bella Vista area could see another round of that severe threat, and there it goes, really popping out by 5:30, 6 p.m. And again, south of I-44, still getting a few rain showers north, but that's going to be our big threat as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Another little lull, and then by Saturday morning, another round of very heavy rainfall, and this is going to continue into the day. So it's about 7 a.m. on Saturday. This pushes all up. All of us are seeing pretty heavy rainfall, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but majority of us is going to be that heavy downpour through Saturday and then even into Sunday morning, plus the chance to see a few flurries kind of sprinkled in there on Sunday as well. Now, rainfall amounts, we already just looked at this. We've had about 3 inches in the Joplin area, another 2 inches, but the rest of us, we're seeing another inch to 4 inches possibly over the next couple of days and into early Sunday morning. Now, temperatures are going to be pretty cold Saturday and Sunday, plus all that rain and even potential for a little bit of snow flurries. Now we start the mornings off Sunday through Tuesday, very cold, and then we're back to average weather after that.
Lindsay, thanks. Hey, don't forget you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOIM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOIM Skywatch weather app. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and the Newton County Sheriff's Office wants to help increase awareness. Each of these pinwheels represents a child abuse case worked by the department in the course of a single year. The department partners every year with the Children's Center of Southwest Missouri. Still ahead, Riverton High School brings home state titles in powerlifting and in archery. And Fairland High School baseball faces Colcord in the Lucky 7 tournament. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
Is bringing you incredible spring news, Phoenix.
Over this past weekend, Riverton High School makes a big-time mark at the state finals for powerlifting. The Rams have 3 individual state champions, Jaden Barnes, Alexa Price, and Brock Ross, and the Riverton girls win the 2A team state title.
It was pretty nice to get that. I don't think we've done that before really, so it was nice to get to be a part of that, and we all work really hard.
Last year I didn't really place at anything, and our girls team I thought was a little smaller than last year, and then it was just a crazy weekend and we pulled it through.
A lot of the guys will push each other if we're not doing heavy enough weight during practice, and during the meets we'll push each other doing even more weight than we think we can do and getting higher place.
Meanwhile, the archery team from Riverton also brings home a state title in the Bullseye division. This comes after the Rams came in second place at state each of the previous 3 years. Bailey Hodge is an individual state champ for Bullseye and 3D, and Riverton's bring most of its team to the national tournament in Utah later this month.
This year has definitely probably been our hardest working year because a lot of people have put in more extra hours, and we actually have more extra practices this year.
The whole team did excellent. I mean, it's something to be very proud of. I mean, taking first at state, is something to be pretty proud of.
It was awesome. I will say I did shed tears because these guys have worked so hard. They have put in hours. They have been out shooting at 9 o'clock at night, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week, some of them. So it's been great to see that pay off.
Despite the rain, the Lucky 7 Conference baseball tournament gets started today, and by the end of tomorrow night, a champion will be crowned. The host school, Wyandotte, faces off against Welch in the quarterfinals. We start bottom of the first. Runners on the corners. Jarius Robertson flies this one plenty deep, enough to bring home the runner. He'll come in and score, and the Bears lead by 1. Same inning, runner on third, and he's coming home after that wild pitch gets away. It's Kaysen Threet sliding in safely. Bears up 2-0. Same inning, Josh Harden forces a fly ball to right. Brody Mills ranges over and he makes the catch. That gets them out of the jam. Now to the second. Here's Harden with a strikeout to close out the frame. Bears still up by 2. Now we go to the third. Manny Thomas on the mound for Wyandotte. He strikes out the batter to end the inning. Wyandotte pitching dominates this one. The Bears take down the Wildcats 10-0. Up next, it's Fairland against Colcord. The Hornets score 2 runs in the top of the first, but Colt Kinsey gets the Owl offense going with a single here. And then a throw gets away. Kinsey gets back to his feet and he runs on to second because of that errant throw. They score a run on an RBI ground out, still with runners on the corners. Now, how about this? Owls attempt a double steal and it's successful. Both men are safe. Fairland ties it at 2. Now 2 outs, runners on second and third. Gunnar Oakley lines one back up the middle and through. 2 more will score as the Owls take a 4-2 lead. We go ahead to the next half inning. Runner on second, Carson Schertz turns around and he picks him off. Nice play there. Now to the third inning. Owls down 5-4. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Jacob Nichols smacks one to short. Tough play called out, but the Owls appeal it and it gets reversed. Fairland ties it up there. It goes on to win 10-5 over Colcord. And the plan is that the championship round of that tournament is going to be played tomorrow, but for listening to what Lindsay and Doug have been telling us all week, we're going to have to get very lucky for those games to get in.
Squeeze it in between the range. Well, the field looked pretty good today despite the rains earlier. I guess the groundskeepers are doing their job.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Well, heavy rain starting pretty early Friday morning, some loud thunderstorms, but the severe threats holding off until later in the afternoon and evening. Now we're going to have some isolated thunderstorms south of I-44 that could bring us low-end severe threat. Heavy rain continues till Sunday morning and a cooler weekend ahead.
Some wet days apparently ahead. Final sports note.
Miami High School softball announces today it has a new head softball coach. That is Kelsey Henry. She's a 2014 grad of Miami.
Wow.
Now she's back as the head coach.
Good for her. Good for the team.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.